Hello everyone and welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift_NoDQ. My name is Jason Voorhees. I am filling in for Aaron Rift today since today is my day, Friday the 13th. So let's go ahead and answer some of your questions today. Let's get started. First one today comes from Turbonius. With AJ Styles set to defend his title versus Rusev and a title change is highly unlikely in all likelihood, who do you think AJ will drop the title to? Very good question. If it's not Rusev, I could see AJ Styles potentially being the WWE Champion through early 2019. Keep in mind that AJ is getting fairly close to CM Punk's 434-day record as the longest reigning WWE Champion of the modern era. Now, of course, Brock Lesnar recently surpassed that number, but he is the Universal Champion. If WWE wanted to have AJ as the longest reigning champion of the modern era, they just have to keep the title on him until next year's Royal Rumble. I could see AJ losing it to Daniel Bryan perhaps this summer, but I feel like if AJ is not going to be losing it to Rusev, then why not just keep him as champion? And the thing is, if AJ breaks that CM Punk record, you're not going to have fans all that upset because they love AJ. My feeling is that AJ Styles, if he beats Rusev at the pay-per-view, he will stay champion most likely until the Royal Rumble. Who does he lose it to? Again, maybe it will be Daniel Bryan, but it could be any number of guys. Maybe Samoa Joe. Maybe Joe will win it before the Royal Rumble. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Got this one here from Kayfabe Candy Ass. Hi, Jason. Do you think Dean Ambrose will return at the pay-per-view and cost Seth Rollins the match since his suicide dive last December took him out in storyline? Also, what's up with the mask? I personally cannot stand people who feel the need to hide all the time. That's a good joke there, Kayfabe Candy Ass. From my understanding, you were the guy that doesn't like to show your face on camera, so you made that nice little joke. To answer your question, well, to answer both of them, first of all, the mask is a marketing tool. You see the t-shirt right here? The masks sell. I know how to make money. I know how to monetize my likeness, and the hockey mask is big business, baby. Now, regarding Dean Ambrose, I suspect when he returns, he will be a babyface at first. There's no need to bring him back and immediately make him a heel, because when he returns, he's going to get that return pop. The fans have not seen him in a long time, and they will be excited to see him again. No sense in turning him right away. Plus, I don't think he will be back in time for Extreme Rules. I think it's more likely he returns after SummerSlam. Now, will he start a program with Seth Rollins? I personally would like to see it happen. Maybe have Ambrose come back as a face for a bit and then turn him and do Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That's what I would like to see at least. Alright, next question here from It's the Costanza. Well, Aaron, is it time to have Monday Night Raw have nothing but good Seth Rollins matches for 3 hours? Because the rest of the show is horse crap. Well, at the very least, maybe make Seth Rollins the Universal Champion. Would that really hurt to have a guy on television every week as Universal Champion? One of the best Raws of the year was when Seth Rollins was a big part of it, going back to that gauntlet match where he wrestled for over an hour. So yeah, Seth Rollins definitely helps the show. The more Seth Rollins, the better. But unfortunately, you cannot do a gauntlet match every single week because then that would get old. But yeah, I think maybe having Rollins in the main events and perhaps being the Universal Champion would be a nice change of pace and maybe create some interest because the World Champion is actually on television every week, you know? Nice concept that we haven't seen in a while. Got this one here from Aaron. Hey Aaron Rift, in your opinion, what is more likely to happen first? A Roman Reigns heel turn or a CM Punk return? Interesting question because I do think CM Punk will be back one day, but I don't think it's going to happen for a long time. Now, as far as Roman Reigns goes, I would be really surprised if he ever turns heel. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's going to be CM Punk returning before Roman Reigns turns heel. I just don't foresee WWE ever turning Roman Reigns, and he's always going to tell you that he's already a heel. He says that in interviews. That's how he feels, that he's already a heel to those fans. I don't think Reigns is ever going to do a proper heel turn, and I do think one day CM Punk will return. So, quite frankly, I think right now the odds are greater that CM Punk returns first before there's a Roman Reigns heel turn. Next one here comes from Rollins versus Styles, please. Do you think if Ruby Riott can break away from the Riott Squad and she can get a new theme song that she can be a top female superstar, she has the talent to do so? That is an interesting question. I'm not sure if I have seen enough of her to really make a prediction like that. I think she has potential, but so do a lot of other women in WWE. And as Jim Ross once said, you cannot make a living on potential. I just think there's no way to really know how far she can go. I do think her as a babyface with that music would be fine, but of course, being a heel with that music, I don't think really works for her, and I think she needs some sort of change. But looking at her, she definitely has that female CM Punk or female Corey Graves vibe to her with all the tattoos, and that might be marketable. So looking at it from that standpoint, I think that there is some real potential for her to be a major star because she just has a different look from everyone else and she stands out, which is always a positive. So time will tell when she breaks off on her own, which I'm assuming will happen at some point. Maybe the other women will turn against her. Maybe Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan will betray her, and WWE can do a storyline with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan feuding with Ruby Riott. I could see that happening at some point, and then we'll have to wait and see if she sinks or swims once she's on her own. But right now, I'm not really sure. I think it could go either way, depending on what she's capable of doing, plus what WWE sees in her and how much they're willing to invest in her. And I got one more here from Rollins versus Styles, please. What's the point of intergender matches since the men are not allowed to hit the women? Comedy purposes? Isn't WWE politically correct? Well, the thing is with an intergender match, it is consensual, to steal a line from Enzo Amore. Basically, the women are agreeing to be put in a physical match with men where they can get hit, they can get thrown around. But yeah, WWE doesn't like to do intergender matches when it's taken seriously. So when they are done for comedy purposes, like with Asuka and James Ellsworth. It was done strictly for the comedy, and it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. And I just don't think WWE wants to go there with intergender matches. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. We see more intergender matches on the indies, and back in the day, China would wrestle men in WWE, but maybe we will see it at one point. Who knows? Anything's possible. But I feel like WWE just doesn't want to go there at this point. And yeah, they are politically correct. And but then again, you're going to have women saying, well, the women are equal to men and they should be able to be in matches with men. The thing is, men are naturally larger, they're bigger in size, they're stronger. That's just human being body structure. That's not being sexist or anything. So I think that with intergender matches, for the most part, it's not going to be believable that a woman could beat a man unless she has this incredibly freakish size and strength. The thing about China is she had the credibility, but even with China, the men did not like selling for her. And that would present a problem if you started doing those types of matches on a regular basis. You would have men not want to do it, feeling that they should not be selling for women that are much smaller than them. And it's just not really necessary. The women's division is doing fine on its own, and there's really no need to do intergender matches, other than occasionally for comedy purposes. And I got one more here from Liam. Hey Aaron, after watching Raw this week and seeing the segment with Lashley and Reigns, it sort of feels like WWE have overkilled the segment. Haha, overkilled. I like that. Where the roster has to pull the two unstoppable forces apart. Lesnar had about 2 or 3 last year. Your thoughts? I thought it was complete garbage because we've already seen it many times, as you mentioned. Lesnar has been in those types of segments. Reigns has been in those types of segments, and that dive he did, Undertaker has done that countless times, and Reigns has done it on multiple occasions. So the segment completely lacked creativity. It was a segment that I feel, quite frankly, has been done to death. See what I did there? And it's just not that entertaining when you've seen it time and time again. Kind of like my movies. After you see 1 or 2, and then it's just the same thing over and over, you really get sick of it. So that's how I feel about Reigns and Lashley. The feud, in my opinion, is boring. It's very dull. It lacks creativity, and I might be doing something else during the match. I might have to go out and take care of business as only Jason Voorhees can, especially towards those WWE creative team members, because what were they thinking when they came up with this? Probably not much. Maybe they were spending too much time watching my movies, and it just completely destroyed their brain cells and ability to think creatively. Alright, that will do it for this edition of NoDQ Video. Perhaps this will be the most unpopular edition of NoDQ Video of all time, but luckily for you guys, tomorrow is not Friday the 13th, but rather Saturday the 14th. I will be away. Aaron Rift will be back for the next video, and many more to come, but who knows? Every Friday the 13th, you never know when the man behind the mask may show up again. So on that note, I hope you all have a great weekend. I'm not going to kill any more time with this video. I will sign off. See you guys next time.